Okay, I got the more active bracket turned on if needed. Had a heck of a nice little slap down here. We had a push, level sweep rotation, lift, a little bit of just a little bit of decent move there. Like this lower pivot high and the slap down. There seems to be some news that hit, something unscheduled. I'm ready to sell. Okay, let me flatten that out. I heard the same signal on a different chart, so we'll stand by here. We should be getting a signal because we're pressing the lower side of the AIQ bands. There we go. There's our short signal. So I need to go turn off. That's so key. I covered that in a prior video too. Make sure you turn off audible tones in charts that you're not actively trading from. So I'm over the 700 a day. What did I do? Made barely anything there, and made a little bit on this, and it went sideways, bailed, and so now I'm working downside action. I like this to the downside, especially if we could work our way down to this area price. So I'm going to stay a bit short biased in here and work these setups. So we have a lot of distance we could potentially go to test the next area of possible support, which is more or less kind of in this area price right in here. That's kind of the area. If I see it get there and then it were to stall, then that's an area that I'd be interested in just blipping out and taking what I can and being done with it. So I'm going to stay short right here and see if I can get over 1,000 on the day and then close out just to work some more signals in here. So anyhow, standing by, we'll see what we get. I like this continuation to the downside after the market made all-time highs, failed to test all-time highs. It's a kind of a pretty rapid slap down out of that signal. There seemed to be some buy-side absorption trying to take place to curtail the selling that failed. And now we could accelerate. Okay, I'm over 1,000 on the day. So what I'm actually going to do, let me see if it'll push one more time lower. If it does, I'm going to take off 3 contracts. I'm going to turn off my bracket, take off 3 contracts, and then manually work the trade. So it's kind of like I'm disengaging the bracket. So let me turn off my bracket. I'll go to none. I'm going to go to 3 contracts. And I'm going to take that out. I'm going to hit buy. I'm going to go right in here and I'm going to set a buy stop limit for 2. I'll set that just below a little bit. And now I'm basically just getting ready to hit the close button, see if I can get a little bit more meat and potatoes, if I can get a little bit more downside push. I'll give it just a little bit more time here and see if I can get one more push lower. If I see it push lower, then very likely we could go much lower, but I'm way over daily goal, so no sense risking. And what I'd really like to do is at least keep 1,000 on P&L. You know what? Let's take off one more. Let's get rid of that. And we'll put in here just go 1 contract. I'm going to put it right on the top of that pivot. So I'm liking what I see here to, kind of find a way to just be done on the day. So anyhow, we'll stand by here. If it lifts a little bit and this area is contained, that'll stop me out and I'll be done. And hey, I'll be over 1,000 on the day from a P&L standpoint. So there we are. We've locked in 1,000. I would be willing to work another downside trade if we get it. There's still a decent amount of distance lower. I'm not really interested in buying this market right here, just myself personally. I could work every signal buy and sell going forward, that's fine, but the way that we just put in, and I'll show you the structure that's in play here. why I'm not really interested in buying. So level sweep barely got a new high, lower pivot high, lower pivot high. So see how the market is, in a sense, structurally rotating lower? And when that's happening, it's likely going to need to go test some major support before it really get institutional participation to ramp it. And they could turn around and ramp it all the way back up and go higher. So that's what I'm seeing. So any sort of lift or sideways trade in another short signal, I'd be willing to engage it again, especially on a day if I wasn't quite yet to my daily goal. So we'll stand by. We'll see what we get here. And this is the big reason why I track levels. See the zone, press, lift, press, lift, press, lift, press, lift. Now, these last two pivots went higher. We had a kind of a structural W pattern in there, and we lifted and had the big rally. So if I can get a short signal, what I'm looking at is any press to this area, that's where she's going to bounce or she's going to break down. And if this area breaks down, this could really accelerate lower because that'll be like a global cashing outs taking place from a market not able to press higher, making more and more and more new all-time highs. So this could really get going. We have a little area of liquidity in here, but this was built mainly in the overnight session. So not a lot of not a lot of volume I mean, that's I like to see support and resistance levels that are built during the U.S. cash session as the primary areas that I pay attention to. So anyhow, we'll see what we get. I'd love to hit this one more time to the short side, and hope it makes sense why. I'm not, we're in the uppermost range of price. The market just came off all-time highs. We're getting a bunch of lower pivot highs, and we haven't really come down far enough yet and tested any support. And that would be likely before I would say more significant buying interest would come back into the market. Okay, standing by, and we'll see if I can get another short signal here. We got a long signal, but I'm not interested. I could take it, and then if I get opposite signal, I just reverse. Actually, it's coming down with a bit of authority, not surprising. Let's see what we get here. Just barely enough meat on the bones willing to take another short signal. This one I will trade very close to the hand. Like if it comes down here and doesn't just rip right through, I don't need to be in here. Or if anything, okay, we got the signal, I'm in, and I'll take any sort of downside extension that the market will give me. And on any hints of a reversal, hey, just hit the close button, grab some more P&L, maybe get 1200 on the day or 1400 on the day. If it really rips and runs through, this is a day where I could make like 2K or, maybe more like, actually more like 16, 1700. Well, actually, no, if it's quite a ways down to the next area of real support. So yeah, this thing, if it really gave it up, it could get some acceleration. I'm not anticipating that. It's not like we have any news. It's just the market is losing appetite for the buy side. Buy side buyers are just the buy side is evaporating. So when people see that and you're near all-time highs, that means hey, you might have a short-term top in place. Time to cash out more because the expectation of being offered higher and higher pricing is dissipating. The expectation is more, hey, we're going to go back into the prior range. So if you got stuff that's deep in the money, why not take profits and get out of here for a while? So that's how the sell side interest builds, or the sell side flow, whether it's options flow, stock flow, people selling futures. People might be throwing on short side futures hedge positions to protect their long side equities portfolios, willing to put more short side position size on futures, knowing that, hey, we're starting to get a rounding pattern off these all-time high pushes that are diminishing, where the breakouts are getting shorter and shorter in overall length. Okay, we're already up to 1200. Actually, if I saw 1500 print, that's like over twice daily, 14 to 1500 print, hit the close button, call it a day. That's 2 times the daily goal. What I really want to do is see this press enough so I can get my stop to break even. So I don't put a bunch of risk on this trade. So let's see if we can make a little push. This is a active bracket. So we hit a certain tier level. I think it's, what do I have this one set? 180 ticks in the money. My stop will go to break even plus, if I remember right. I have so many brackets, I can't even keep track of all of them. This is what I call the right-hand chart bracket. So anyhow, we'll stand by and we'll see if we can press lower here. Okay, there we go. I'm going to blip out and hold 14 and change, double daily goal. The automation or the ATM bracket brought my stop down to break even plus. This would need to advance, but we're pressing right above that area, and I want to hold 2 times daily goal. Hope that makes sense. Now, another discussion I want to get into. So that was a really good trade day. Didn't make much here, made a little bit here, made a little bit more there, and then nice push here. Now, even if I took that long signal and then flipped reverse, I would have been a loser. I would have got a nice push, would have got that back and then some, because who knows, this could keep on going. But so in the end, if I just trade all the signals and don't think, I'm up on the day, and I'm definitely well over daily goal. And the other thing too, I'm paying attention, we're almost to the bottom side of the bands. So this is an area where we're ripe for a bounce or an acceleration of the downside. So since I went all the way up to 1500, when it was pressing down, I was up to 1500. I was getting ready to hit the close button. And then I saw us lifting. I wanted to make sure I could lock in at least 1400 because that's twice my daily goal in doing it in one day. Now, another thing, when you're working brackets, you can take partials out. So if that's more comfortable for you, any advancement you're getting in your intended direction, let's say you trade units of 3 at a certain amount of ticks in the money, you might take out 1 and then have your stop move up a little bit, maybe not all the way to break even plus, and then let 2 run. Or maybe you trade in units of 4 or 5. You can use the initial burst you're getting out of your signals to grab some profits. Another thing you can do, and this is important, you can trade more size. As you get more confidence in the time frame that you're in and your signals in the settings, how you have them dialed in, then you can go in and trade more size. Now, really, if I'm trading my normal 7 lots, especially on level sweeps, I'm way higher on the day. Because right here, that signal, that was a level sweep. Trading a 7 lot, I would have grabbed a little bit more. But 5 to 7 works for me just fine on 150K accounts. I'm just not having any problems day after day getting to my daily profit objective. On 300K accounts, 1,100 to about 1,250 per account. I like that. Trading anywhere from 7 to 11 lots for the position size. For the position size in the brackets, anyhow. The AIQ indicator, you can adjust its sensitivity. The problem is if I go too low, I'm getting too many signals. So if I'm trading the signals, I don't want to be in an environment where I'm getting too many signals. I want to be in an environment where I'm catching the core bursts of momentum that are most qualified. So the higher I go up with that AIQ period number, the more picky I am about how much confirmation I got to see in the overall linear movement to price, trade speed, uptick, downtick. All that's got to kind of fall into place to get me in a signal. So I have it set so I have a decent amount of confirmation. So I'm getting in probably a little late on some of these signals for this time frame, but I'd rather have the confirmation and have less signals. And there we are, we're bouncing. So anyhow, in the next videos, I'll be showing reversal signals, not mom signals with brackets. So if you have any questions, info@gridalgo.com.